each right click that he will just burn all the way through your familiars. Basically, it's going to be all whenever Crystallize gets his BKB.
Okay. Well, and if he's going to be able to get into that quickly enough, as game number 3 on the back of a Blizzy Brood, Vega Squadron trying to move on to the playoffs. Well, Navi, he's a big old boy sometimes if they can get towards it. But it is going to be early movement out here. Yeah,
prepare
absolutely.
for battle.
I want to see where these lanes work out. I'm assuming it's Crystallize that you want to have the matchup against the Brood, or who do you feel like is the best one to match up against?
Crystallize for sure. We will see. So we'll see wherever Blizzy plants his web. Sometimes it's like a decoy web. I think so he places a web bot. He places both web spot. Okay, now that is a commitment.
Yeah.
In which case, Sven should absolutely go bot, but Lil's not going to be able to find this out because he's going to get lifted.
That was weird.
Drop back.
He saw them.
He shot himself out.
I mean, he saw them there. And like saw the smoke break, but he still kept on going in. Maybe he was just like looking somewhere else when it happened. I don't know. Very, very weird. But first blood picked up for Vega.
And, oh wait, okay, I guess they do see the web. They see the bottom of the web thanks to this tier 1 tower. And so, still, I don't really know, because Blizzy's hanging around mid lane.
He's definitely
seems like some mind games. Okay.
Yeah, that always feels how it is with Brood, is that like, depending upon how the lane goes, you can just like win the game sometimes by having a bad lane.
For sure. And I guess in the mid lane, you don't really need both webs, so that's why he went for planning both of them. But Navi read it correctly. They are sending Crystallized mid.
Okay. Well, Zach in the area. He has a Bramble Maze to lay down if they so desire, and they need to make sure that they give Blizzy a decent time here, as he does have a Quelling Blade, double webs down, and now the wrap around. Guess who it is? LeBron Dota. Gonna try to make his way through there, but the pullback, the lift in, the stun though comes out, and is he taking a lot of damage from the couch? He's dead. LeBron picks it up.
And Broodmother doesn't even get the first blood gold. He goes the way to Zayats, so at least Willow's gonna have a little bit better of a time, but still, Broodmother goes down.
Oh. LeBron in the mid lane, they know what they would need to do, just keep on assaulting this Broodmother, and now Dark Willow under fire as well. They know that she doesn't have Shadow Realm. Bramble Maze down. Navi are making this look easy so far against the Brood.
Lanes can't really go that much better. It's basically a traditional mid matchup in the bot lane with Death Prophet versus the Pugna, which is basically what we saw in the previous game, except just the heroes reversed on the teams. And top lane, it's a Nyx Assassin versus a Visage, which is basically like a null and void lane until level 6 is hit, in which case things start popping off, as now Slayer on the run, and he's going to get out just fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the other side, Undershock able to take down the DP. I guess that is the one downside to this for Navi, is that while it is a DP versus Pugna matchup, which you're seeing, the lane is a lot longer, and you can get that pressure on you more quickly.
Yeah, and Siphon to close the gap isn't quite as valuable, but we'll see how much focus needs to be placed. Crystallize won't really need that much help, especially once he gets Cleave up and running. Then he really has very little to be concerned about. He already has a point in Warcry, so there's really no way that he can reasonably die, and it looks like not going to go for a rotation. See, Undershock is already out of range, so might as well go for the Willow instead.
Curse Crown's gone on to 2. Backing away now. Zayat looks like he is going to be able to escape. Shards back in 7. Nope. Too long.
Wow. Dendi getting crowned there, I think, cost them that kill. But these things happen.
Thanks. All right. So Crystallize, you mentioned it, 1 point up and Cleave now for the Sven. He is going to try and stay alive against it. It still does sort of become a problem later as Blizzy's going to be able to farm out the side camps while simultaneously dealing with the creep waves coming in. As he's splitting up the spiders right there and now going to be able to pull back into Sven. Does have that stun, but it didn't hit onto all of them. Now turning, a lot of damage coming through. Crystallize going to go down. Although that being said, Blizzy now throws out another web and they're doing more damage on LeBron. He might just end up being in trouble. And the tower, oh Blizzy, no, not like this.
My bad. LeBron gets all the experience for that, so gets his level 2 and almost his level 3 after he eats that ward so close to level 3. And it was a good rotation by Vega Squadron. They knew that Warcry was used, and at level 1 Warcry has a very long cooldown. Is now the side lanes are popping off like crazy. Visage ended up dying earlier, and now Death Prophet goes down yet again.
Blizzy realizes he doesn't want to be in that world anymore, and he runs away towards the top lane. Sven looks like it is definitely dealing with the brood.
Yeah, we'll see where Crystallize wants to go, and looks like sees that the rotation has been made, and he will match that pace. General takes over the mid lane instead, and
is Slayer dead?
Yeah, I believe so.
I had everything ready for that guy. He's up fallen, so Crystallize makes that move up top, and he's already level 4. Meanwhile, mid lane.
Meanwhile, bot lane.
It's going all over the place, man.
It's going all over the place. Will's level 2. They see Undershock. He can mango for shards, assuming he doesn't die.
They have 6 charges here on Pugna as well. Gonna pop in now. D-Crap and the damage. Lil falling down dead. Curse Crown there onto the Death Prophet as well as Undershock still chasing. They pull back in the catch there as well onto the Disruptor who's popping Fairy Fires, everything that he can to stay alive.
And it works.
Yeah.
Pugna's right-click damage is something to be feared, but he needs to enjoy this time because General is maxing out mana burn, has 0 points in carapace right now. That means that General has his eyes set for one tiny little green skelly man whenever he hits level 6.
Yeah. And that is going to be very, very painful. Blizzy, again, a lot of these spiders are sent off to the side. They do not want to give that away to Crystallize.
Dire are scanning.
Rotation in from Navi. The block off is there, and Visage, nowhere left to go, is going to be punished for this.
I don't know if they know that he has 0 points in Soul Assumption, but he has 0 points in Soul Assumption as now bot lane. And he getting heavily rotated it on. Spirit huge silence, but does not matter.
That's not enough. So they're going to pressure this tower again, and I guess that this is the other thing is like Vega Squadron, they're still going to be able to get a lot of farm onto Blizzy in spite of the tough matchup against Crystallize. They're still starting to like pressure some towers. Like in a way, their draft is working. It's not like a complete shutout the way that I'm sure they would have wanted, but things are happening.
Yeah, the benchmark though is always how do you science? Almost dies. The benchmark is always, whenever you pick a Brood Metal lineup, is breaching high ground. The other towers are kind of expected. You should be getting every single outer tower very easily, and especially when you have a Pugna on your team as well, like, there should be no question that the structural situation should be massively in your favor. Looks like Crystallize is going to farm up a bunch of Spiderlings. It would be high ground, and the high ground defense isn't exceptional for Navi. They really only have Crypt Storm. You can't reliably spam out Stormhammer, and Crystallize will have to, like, you know, commit his hero if push out all the Spiderlings that are creeping on his tower. But I'm not really concerned about any of these tier 1 towers.
Yeah. Rotation in now. You talked about it. This is going to be General looking for that catch, and watch how quickly he pops. Oh, there it is. Second time through. The stick there kept him a little bit more survivable.
Yeah, it must have been like 10 stick charges or something. So first kill goes down, streak ended, and gold goes the way to Dendi. Solid first vendetta.
Top tower is under attack.
Slayer wanted to try and set something up there with the birds in the area, but does not work out. And about 7.5 minutes in, they're still getting these stacks on these ancients too. Like, Sven is gonna have a nice game for himself, even though there's so many different kiting mechanisms.
Yeah, and I think he can actually go for... Oh, so he's going for Mask of Madness, which is okay. I thought Echo Saber or Mask of Madness first item, either of which are fine. Echo Saber has just completely fallen off the map as an item, and Crystallize might be falling off the map entirely as a hero. Cursed Crown.
Pulling back in, they're trying to take him down. Spiders not going. Yeah, they can't do this. Far too much damage gonna come out, and now they've got eyes here on the Slayer as well. God's Strength pop for this one. They're trying to get a little bit of separation. Still being kited around there. God, those spiders popping though. It hurts. Nyx Assassin is in the area as well. Snowball chase, they get the kill.
Is under attack.
So 4 heroes top for the Radiant. And they make it work. Blizzy? Is he dead?
Got it.
No.
Nah, he's good. Although... I know Lil doesn't really do enough damage either. Yeah, they're just keeping eyes on Broodmother. Things are going well for Navi, and they could be going much worse. So I'm Zayat's Impale, Vendetta.
That would be
Oh my gosh, so much CC. He was mashing that Shadow Realm button. And Will's actually opting to max out Bramble Maze this game, and I think that's absolutely the right option against the Sven. Like you said, there's so many kiting mechanisms, but with Crystallize getting as good of a start as he is right now, like, so Echo Saber has fallen off the map, but Mask of Madness is really good whenever the enemy team can't really deal that much physical damage to you, and Broodmother is the only physical damage. Well, I guess actually also Visage, who's not having a good time in the meeting.
No, he's gonna end up going down. Yeah, it wants to just keep him alive. It's gonna run him away. Snowball not able to catch up, but while that's all going on, Undershock takes down the out bottom, and meanwhile the Crystallized Sven was able to take out the tower top.
Yeah, so I'll care about tier 1 towers when it's Navi getting them. When Vega Squadron are getting them, it doesn't really matter that much to me, because Broodmother should already be having at least like some damage on another tier 1 tower, which tier 1 mid for Radiant, only about a third HP taken out, and that's really not enough because Exorcism is online, God's Strength, as we saw, is in full effect, and Crystallize is going to have his Mask of Madness already completed flying out to him.
And Disruptor again gonna stack this camp, although it's not.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be another one. And that's going to be God's Strength in a second if he just wants to please do this thing. Meanwhile, Lil ends up dying to Zayat, but yeah, Ancient's fallen. A lot of gold from Mr. Sven. He is gonna stream ahead in terms of net worth.
Does he suspect anything? I don't think Vega Squadron have a clue. And the entire thing is clear, and I might even go for some kills with this God's Strength now.
Dealing damage there, nice decrypt there for the moment. Actually, no, bad decrypt. That was coming in from the other side. Oh, never mind. What the hell am I talking about? Still able to get it.
It's all good.
Now Visage trying to make his escape. Slayer running, trying to hide. Is going to be caught, is going to be killed. 2 more go down. I think that this is feeling from bad to worse.
Does Dota Plus have like individual hero net worths? Because I would love to see how much Sven just got in like the last 45 seconds. Because
I don't think it does.
I mean, yeah, like a quadruple ancient stack and then like 2 kills, 1 on a core Visage. This man is accelerating exceptionally fast, and so this is great because the quicker he accelerates, the later he pushes his BKB. So he can go for another item. I'm totally okay with him going for the Saint and Yasha right now because he does not need a BKB right now. Vega Squadron are not intimidating enough to force him into that.
Cursed Crown mid leads to a setup of a Static Storm to try and defend Dendi on the Death Prophet. But while that was all going on, tier 1 tower goes down top by virtue of the spiders. And again, Crystallize going to be hitting away at these Ancients. A triple stack that is now going to fall. And Sanj already done. Yeah, Sven's feeling himself.
Pretty solid 1k net worth advantage over a Broodmother, who is a hero that typically has a very, very high net worth advantage in the first 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what Blizzy's itemization is going to be this game. He has gone for the medallion. Don't really know how much the Solar Crest will help him. I think Sven deals too much damage already, and Visage already has a medallion of his own also, and Palatimus has completed the Helm of the Dominator, so Broodmother's in a weird spot. I don't know what Blizz is going to build this game. This is always like such a weird spot. I guess you can go for Nullifier, because Crystallize is bound to get a BKB eventually,
right.
And he's plodding along. He knows everything, but he needs his team.
Looking for that opening, able to find the stun onto one, and that's going to be still dead Disruptor. Bedlam kind of working here for him for the moment. The Bramble Maze is down as well. Now turning on to Crystallize. Blizzy wants to go in on this one. Is going to turn it though, and that was a fear. General looking for the Impale. It's not going to connect on to Blizzy, who's running away again into the trees. No TP available on this Broodmother. Well, on the other side of the fight, they're going to be able to take down that Tusk, it looks like, and use that for there. The turnaround as Dendi is on a dominating streak, but they still have the Sven under control and killed off. Dendi now also in no man's land. He's going to TP out.
That was an active fight.
Yeah.
But ends up being 3 heroes going down from Navi and only a support Dark World getting killed. Initially, I guess Sven was retreating, and I guess at some point he saw the Broodmother who was going for this courier, and he was just like, wait, she's out of position as now General Vendetta's the Dire courier, and gets that killed. That had someone's visage boots.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, so Sven saw the Broodmother and it was just like, oh, I could probably go for this kill, but the rest of Vega Squadron were coming in and they finished off the Sven. If Sven didn't die, then that was great for Navi, but Sven going down is quite the setback, and that's part of the reason why Vega Squadron come out 1k net worth on top of that fight.
Well, it sort of speaks to one of the problems that I think you have right now in this game for Navi, and that's if they don't find a really, really solid initiation, Crystallize can still get kited. Very high mobility on these heroes. We've seen already the decrep and what that can do. So it could be tough, and they're actually going to be moving to take Roche.
Static Storm was on cooldown, and so Disruptor was moving in to start the whole thing off, but it was on cooldown. He got popped by Will and Broodmother, and then after that it was just too disconnected as now they weren't.
Oh, they're pulling it up, going for the Terrorite. Static Storm is on to everybody. Impale is out as well, but they managed to get the Aegis onto Blizzy. Timo is already dead. General likely to fall as well as Crystallize, trying to find himself a target. The Curse Crying comes out as Zayak ends up popping, and Blizzy never was going to be able to do enough damage there off to the side. But still, Aegis on Broodmother. And maybe Dendi Dad as well.
Bolted. Okay, well, overall, definitely great for Vega Squadron. This just goes down yet again, but still, Palantimos is managing to progress fairly well in terms of itemization, you know, aside from the fact that his boots got killed on the courier, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And Broodmother continues to progress, which again, it's fine. And he's gone for the Desolator, which I think is a pretty solid choice. It will help push faster and helps cut down through Sven's amazing armor. So the reason I was skeptical about Medallion is because, like, you already have to deal with Warcry, and so that's a lot of armor that Sven is working with. But if he's Mask of Madness, that's dropping his armor by 8, and then if you've got Desolator plus Medallion, that's what, 6 armor from the Desolator, 7 armor from the Medallion, so minus 13 armor. That can make a Sven look a lot more vulnerable than he should to physical damage.
Right. And the other issue is that, the other thing is that it's still not the maximum it can be yet, because like Medallion's not stacking together, obviously. Right. They're going to need to finish that into eventually a Solar Crest. As Crystallize now running, they have the Brambles down, and Vega looking to take this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. All tier 1's down. They're stealing away Ancients. Navi needing to find some answers here.
Vega Squadron moving forward.
General, oh, they caught him. The Terrorite's there as well. He's gonna fall now. They get the kill onto the Nyx, and now maybe gonna look for more as well. LeBron running away. The Tusk is off to the side. They're trying to block off with shards, but Broodmother obviously just running over that one, and now turning her sights onto Dendi. Vega, give up the pursuit, and instead gonna move for the tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under
They're waiting
attack.
for Crystallize to complete this Blink Dagger, which is a shame.
fortified.
I think now the time is rapidly approaching that he needs to complete the BKB, but the problem is, I don't know, I guess CIS isn't really that big of a fan of Blink Dagger Death Prophet, because it's not happening this game either. Dendi went for the Yules, and yet again, someone needs to get a Blink Dagger, but it's not going to be the Death Prophet, which means that it's going to be the Sven. But I think whenever he jumps into a fight, he's just going to get controlled too much. Like, to deal with Terrorize, deal with the Familiars getting their stone form off, you have to deal with a mischance from Blizzy's incapacitating bite, and you have to deal with getting crepified by Pugna. So there are so many things that you need spell immunity for post-initiation, but A Blink Dagger by itself is not going to be able to provide that.
Oh, Blizzy, does he get greedy with this one? They don't see anybody.
If he dies, his team can quickly approach.
Moving into position, and they spot him out. That is going to be Blizzy caught for the moment. Still not in a great position to be able to actually go on him here. And they're going to pop the exorcism, but Blizzy glimpses back in again, still living. He's fine. And I don't know if this is going to end up working out. Undershock is going to walk forward into everybody. Crystallize now is trying to find himself a target, but the Curse Crown is already on Undershock, dealing the damage now. The Decrypt comes out as well, and that's going to keep alive this Dark Willow. He's just kind of dull. He's nowhere left to go. The disarm is coming in. Now the rest of these heroes going to be in the area. They're going to glimpse away the Dark Willow. Never want to have to use glimpse defensively. And now a snowball. It's going to be on to Undershock, and now Lil trying to run away. While this is all happening, the birds keep eyes on LeBron. But another team fight won for Vega.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, Crystallize completed his Blink Dagger, but that was headless Sven, or chicken running with his head cut off. That's the analogy I'm looking for. He kept jumping from target to target to target, and it wasn't because he wanted to, it was because that he had no choice. And that was without the Broodmother even really being in the fight. The Broodmother was just quietly camping on the cliff. Exorcism was popped and Broodmother cleared the cliff. Then Nyx Assassin was the only person in range, but by the time the rest of Vega Squadron came in with the Pugna and whatnot, Death Prophet just got annihilated, and Crystallize was the only core that they needed to worry about. Yeah. So yeah, he needs this BKB so badly. At least no objectives get taken off of that.
Well,
but at the same time, Blizzy didn't lose his Aegis.
He did just get a BKB and then pop the charge, and that's why I said I immediately regret my decision. Yeah. It's a classic. But he does have that Aegis now expiring as well, and no BKB. Oh god, expiring.
It's okay.
He needs to be careful. They're all here.
Nyx Assassin clicked on him, and he was just like, dude, he has a BKB completed. We can't go on this.
Yeah, it's true. They hit the spiders. Get some gold.
That's okay. That's a decoy play by Blizzy. He's like,
wait a minute.
Take my spiders.
Vega Squadron, they're all moving in. The shrine, or rather the scan is going to spot him. And now Navi, they're actually on the low ground though. This is a really, this is a scary point.
Exorcism's down, and so they don't want to fight. If Exorcism was up, they would be more than willing to go into that scan, but they're gonna wait. Now it's up, and that's why everyone on Navi is still here, and they haven't retreated back to their base.
There's the Blink DP now.
Vega Squadron were suspecting. They're like, oh, okay. Now that they've kind of gotten a hint of it, they're probably going to start retreating, and it's just Dendi farming in the bot. That is not the case. Dendi has his entire team, and Vega Squadron are like, where the hell is the rest of their team?
Oh.
Look at all this vision. They're like, someone's bound to come through this jungle eventually. Someone has to retreat. Dendi is just getting a free tower by himself, but that is not the case.
Yeah. I think they got a good idea of it. Crystallize about halfway to his Blink Dagger, and now the pressure is going to come out as they're thinking about going for the Terras, but Undershock keep on going for the...
Both teams are like, where is the other team? I don't get it. Why is no one defending this?
Wait a minute. Spike Carapace? They're going Impale. A lot of damage. General's just gone. The Nyx Assassin falls so quickly. And now no Exorcism to try and defend their high ground. Vega are just going to continue to hit away on this. They buy back now on the Nyx as Undershock just throwing out those Nether Blasts. They don't have with them the Tusk right now. This DP is just now finishing up. Disarm, Curse Crown, it's out. Undershot pops his BKB. In general, just going to have to walk away. But this is almost...
Exorcism is down for so long. They can sit back and relax. Sven doesn't have a BKB. Death Prophet doesn't have her ultimate. They'll go for the melee.
Yeah, pump faking the Terrorize. They're getting ready to go in with this one maybe, as they did pop a couple of different things, but now they just don't have anywhere to go. The Sven had jumped in. He just gets completely kited as the Terrorize came out and pushed him away.
That was a bluff, and Vega Squadron called it. He was like, hey, look, I'm a God Strength Sven. You gotta run me, but no. Vega did not do it. Pugna will go down, but that is a worthy trade for an entire Rax and killing the enemy Sven.
It's a 4,000 net worth lead for Vega Squadron now, and this is the problem really with this Sven is like, it's great against Broodmother in the lane, it's great against her if you can take down the spiders, but it's starting to be more and more kited in this game. And
yeah, I think the BKB came one item too late. Prophet has now completed her Blink Dagger, but I think the Yules may have been optimistic. So, Blink Dagger first item on Death Prophet is never really the build, but there are multiple variations to speed your way up to the Blink Dagger. Like newbie, don't really know how, I can't remember off the top of my head how SCCC builds it. I want to say Hood into Blink Dagger, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the case.
Okay.
But whatever the case, like, Yules was not the item, I don't think. And that kind of railroaded Crystallized into getting this Blink Dagger, and he has been working his way to the BKB 4th item for so long. And like I said, I was okay with the Mask of Madness, I was okay with the Sanjin Yasha, but the BKB timing is so critical that just one item late and you see how much Navi have lost.
Palantimos now, his birds are going to run away along with his dominated creep, and he is going to be found. TP still on cooldown. The rest of his team moving in, though. Seeing if they can help him out. They're able to isolate one. That Disruptor already dead. No Static Storm. They take down Little as well. And in an instant, that's all it takes, and the burst damage is there.
Well, General's trying to cut the creep wave, but unfortunately one wave is already there, and that's all Undershock needs to start getting the Nether blasting.
Radiant's top tower
From
is under
bad to
attack.
worse to terrible. Vega Squadron, the ones that are looking to be on top of it now, and you've got, you know, double Solar Crest at this point, also all the minus armor in the world. Dendi Arcane Rune, it's the
Radiant's top
best you can hope for at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Sven TP off cooldown in 1 second. He's coming back into it now, I believe, although he wants to finish off that BKB desperately. He's 100 gold away, and they can't get it in time. Oh, General ends up going down again, and he doesn't have buyback now. All right, now the Sven's coming back in. He has BKB completed. Is going to have it for this fight, but how much are they going to get out of it? They need to find a ton. They fear Exorcism as they come out with it, and now Exorcism isn't going to be there, and Crystallize wants to go in. He does manage to stun and find the Visage, but the Visage burns, and now the runaway. It's still going to be a dead Visage. But my goodness. That's Exorcism, God Strength. The smallest solace is that Crystallize didn't pop BKB.
Dude, believe me, that's, if anything, that's a bitter moment for Crystallize, because I spent so long farming this BKB and I didn't have to use it in the fight, but he didn't have to use it because they saw it and they were like, let's just retreat. We got a melee Rax, feared back the Exorcism, as you said. Who cares if we just lose one core for one Rax yet again?
Yeah. Well, it is now going to push bottom for the tier 2 most likely, but Roche is probably the bigger thing that's coming up now. And Navi struggling to deal with the spider. Really, though, it's also the Pugna who's been doing so much.
I think it's the Pugna. I mean, Broodmother was doing a great job, and she has served her purpose, but now it's all about the Pugna. The landing phase has been confirmed. Basically every single outer tower except for one is down, and that tier 2 is just free gold whenever Vega Squadron want to head on down there. But they're taking Roche first, and Navi smoke up. I don't know if that was in Vision. Yep, Rubik gladly pops it. He has Vendetta stolen, and that's not going to be a Roche steal anymore.
Feels bad for Navi. And it is going to be that Roche down very quickly. Is it quick enough, though? Lil still moving in. They're threatening to terrorize the walk forward. General Impale, not bad. The BKB's out as well. Crystal is starting to land these targets. Can they bring them down in time? Exorcism is out as well. He's in his dual scepter, able to run away. BKB out for him as well. Blizzy now retreating. But the Aegis is already there on Blizzy, and now anything else doesn't really matter. They can just reset after all the BKBs are down. And on the other side, LeBron takes down Slayer, but they're going to lose a lot of heroes now. Most likely, as Lil getting ran at.
He is a sacrifice, but he snowballs and actually dodges it. All right,
gem. Okay, this works.
Well played.
It's 2 supports down. I think that they picked up the gem as well from the Rubik. Yeah, Visage has it. So now Aegis and Cheese. Who has the cheese? Undershock.
Undershock.
Radiant
well,
are scanning.
If they were just a few seconds earlier, that would have been great. Dendi had the BKB completed, although when he jumped in, he didn't use it, and so he jumped in, he took quite a bit of damage from a Dagon blast, and then he uled himself,
Radiant's
and then he
bottom
BKB when he hit the
shrine is under
ground.
attack.
But that was a lot of time spent not going inside the pit. So he was just kind of dancing on the outside perimeter of the pit, and then he started chasing Pugna like all the way up through the Dire Ancients. So a little bit disconnected because Crystallize is not on the same page. But they're still in the game,
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
although Blizzy does still have his Aegis.
It's going to be
Radiant's
tough.
bottom
I mean,
shrine
this
has
defense,
fallen.
it's got to be immaculate from Navi. And
Radiant's
it's going to
bottom
depend a
tower
lot
is under
upon
attack.
also those like initial ways that they start the fight. Because I feel like Crystallize needs to come in as the last person and just wait for it to get chaotic and blow them all up quickly. Because
Yeah.
it's too tough
Radiant's
otherwise.
bottom tower has fallen.
And
Like, he-
Disruptor is like, he has so
Oh,
little
no.
to offer as much as
General.
he's caught.
He's caught yet again, and the Impale, it hits onto a creep. This is real bad. Dendy's outside of the base now. Slayer almost initiated onto him, but they're moving forward for this. They have the Pugna ward down. They're getting ready to jump right now with the Sven. He looks forward. The initiation, it's going to be there onto the Pugna. Pugna down. Not bad. And he's going to turn his sights now onto Blizzy. He's actually going to go for the Venge first, or excuse me, the Visage first. Zayat, he's also starting to drop a little bit. Now they're going to be able to kite him away. Crystallize, looking for a target. It's just not going to happen. The Cursed Crown, the Bedlam, he is going to die. Buybacks across the board. 3 of them for Navi. And even that might not be enough as Vega streaming forward. They don't have their Pugna.
Yeah.
I don't know if they care.
No, just sit back and chill. You got a buyback out of the Sven. You got a dieback out of the Tusk. You got a buyback out of the Disruptor. You don't need to overplay your hand. You can wait to see if anyone crosses these stairs. If anyone does that, then you can go on them. But then he's gonna play it safe. Yeah, and now Sven's BKB is whittling down. It's down to 8 seconds. Like you saw how much he was being able to do during the duration of that, and the Storm kinetic field by Disruptor was pretty much the only reason they were able to get that. Like
Right.
Pugna, not how LeBron. Bedlam is up.
Turn. General's there. They cancel the TP though. Yeah, 'cause-
Rax is under attack.
yeah, they're buying space right now with that Dark Willow, and unfortunately with no Disruptor, there's no real catch to take place afterwards. Good blink away from Dendy. Is not going to get stunned there by the Visage Bird, but it's a tier 3 tower down nonetheless. Crystallize looking for his opening here. He's pops the God Strength, now thinking about blinking forward, and it's going to be able to find it, but Undershock gets it off. Now the snowball away. They pull the Sven inside, trying to chase, but the cheese pops as well from Undershock, and they're just destroying Crystallize here. Nowhere left to go. He falls, and Dendy now the next one to be chased down as the snowball comes out. That was the Rubik snowball to save the Visage, because why not? And now no buybacks on those 3 heroes that are dead. Dendy, the last one with General to try and keep these buildings
Who
alive.
still has Aegis. Blizzy can just like face tank this, but Exorcism's timing out.
Radiant's
This
top
assassin is
barracks
dead.
A big old Dagon
Assassin's
to the
dead.
face as General is going to fall. Wicked sick for Blizzy, and GG is called as Vega Squadron are going to be your first team through to the playoffs with MDL Major.
I said it could be great or it could look terrible. This game ended up looking pretty great, but I think with different itemization from Navi, it could have looked disastrous for Vega Squadron's draft, because